On a recent trip to Sydney, I got to visit a whole bunch of authorised dealers, including Vacheron Constantin, a brand that I really like, but a brand that is completely outside of my price range. But I like that brand for a particular reason, because there's one watch that I really like from them, a watch that I was able to try on. It was a really nice experience to be able to try on such a beautiful watch, but at the price that they're charging, it is way beyond what I could ever afford. And that's when I turned to AliExpress. Hello, you're watching James. My name is James, you're watching me, and I am talking about watches, and I'm talking about a homage watch today. And there are a lot of reasons to buy a homage watch. There's lots of reasons not to buy a homage watch, but for me, this particular watch, there is two huge reasons why I chose to buy it. I chose to buy it because the original watch, the Vacheron Constantin, is way beyond my budget. I'm never, ever going to be able to afford to buy it. No matter how much I save, I'm never going to buy that watch. Secondly, it's also a watch that I'm probably not going to wear a lot. And if I'm going to be spending huge amounts of money on a watch, I'm not going to buy a watch that I'm probably not going to wear a huge amount. And that's when I turned to AliExpress to see if there was a good quality homage of this particular watch. And of course there is, because AliExpress does some incredible stuff and they make some incredible homage watches. This one is from Boltony, and it is something that I really like, and it's something that has captured my attention, and it's something that I can afford. And of course, I am an affiliate member with AliExpress, so I'm going to leave an affiliate link to this watch down in the description below. If you choose to use that link, I'll earn a tiny little bit of commission, and I do thank you very much for that. But now I want to flip the camera around now and show you the first few things that really stood out to me about this watch as soon as it arrived. So this Boltony S204046 actually comes in two colors. It comes in a silver dial, and then it comes in the white dial that I bought. Now, even though it says it's a white dial, I think it actually looks a bit more like a silver dial to me. The case itself is quite nice. It sort of comes with everything you need, including a warranty card and some information and polishing cloth and a little tool. Now, this watch arrived about 4 days ago, and 4 days ago when it first arrived, there were 5 things that stood out to me. First of all, and it was almost instantaneous, was how much I like it. I really like this watch, and it has been proved over the last 4 days of having it, because I've worn this watch almost every single day. Every single time I've gone to my watch collection, I've been picking this one up because I've just been really enjoying wearing it. Secondly is something which is probably not a positive really. It's not a super negative, but it's probably not my favorite thing already, and that is the Boltony on the dial there. Not the brand name, not the brand itself. I'm perfectly fine with both of those. It's just how it is actually applied to the dial there, because I think it's perhaps a little bit too small, and it just seems to sort of sit there a little bit strangely on the dial, especially when everything else on the dial is really good, including the third thing that stood out to me, the hands and those indices, because look at the hands themselves. It's the quality of them, but it's also the shape of them. The hour hand has this really interesting sort of heart end to it, and the minute hand is actually really cool. It sort of goes down and up, and then comes back out and up. It's sort of like it dips in and out. I'll put in a sort of a close shot now just to show you that a little bit more. And also you'll see in that close shot that the second hand is actually blue. And I think that is really cool. Now, as I said, it comes in a salmon dial as well. And I don't think that blue second hand works as well on that salmon dial. But on this sort of silvery, almost sort of pearl sort of white dial, I think that blue second hand looks fantastic. And as I mentioned, I also like the numbers, and that is the fourth thing that stood out to me, because compared to the original, and the original I actually tried on not long ago, these are applied. They're all polished and applied, and being applied, it makes them really sort of stand out from the dial. And I like the font as well. Obviously, there's going to be this style of font because it is a homage watch, but I think it looks fantastic and the quality of it is absolutely outstanding. And that is the fifth thing that stood out to me, the quality of this watch. Overall, the dial looks great. Everything applied looks great. Those hands look great. The case itself is really nice, really well made, really impressive. All polished, as you can see, so it does grab some sort of finger marks, but that's okay. And it's funny, whenever I get watches from AliExpress, normally the straps end up being a little bit sort of average. Straps on this one here is actually really good. Like if this came on any other AliExpress watch, I'd be really impressed with it. Hardware's really nice, the color of it's really nice, the feel of it's really nice. But even though it's really nice, the problem I'm having is the head of the watch is so good that this is almost not quite good enough, even though it would be great on almost any other watch. I'm not complaining about it. It is perfectly fine, and I certainly like the color, But I think it is the head of the watch is just so good that perhaps in the future I may end up swapping this out. I'll see how I go longer term with this particular watch. I'm really enjoying wearing this one because it just sort of looks a bit different. I like the design of it. I like how it sits on my wrist. It sits down nicely on my wrist, but it has sort of caught me a couple of times because it is offset. When you're looking down at the dial, initially you might sort of just look at the hands and not sort of look at the numbers and forget that it's offset. So you sort of need to move your hand a little bit then to read the time. So just something to get used to. But I have to say, and I'm going to keep saying it about this one, I think, and I'd be surprised if I don't keep saying it in a few months when I do the full review of it, that I just really, really like it. It has impressed me, and I like the style of it. I like the look of it. But these Boltony watches, this is the second one that I've owned now, and they are particularly good. I'm definitely going to have to explore this brand a little bit more. But whilst we wait for further Boltony watches and the full review of this one, maybe check out these videos next.